The world is watching in horror as the violence continues against the Palestinian people throughout Palestine, in Gaza and in the West Bank. And people are asking, is the US government planning to do anything to help the more than 1 million Palestinians who've been displaced from their homes again and who are facing intolerable destruction? Is the US going to offer a humanitarian parole program like United for Ukraine? Or is it going to offer temporary protected status like it has for Afghans, Ukrainians, and Venezuelans? Well, advocates are definitely pushing for these options, but they don't seem very likely considering the Biden administration's direct role in the destruction of the Palestinian people. So working with what we have, let's talk about some options for Palestinians that are available right now. For Palestinians who are outside the United States and want to come to the US, one difficult option is applying for a tourist visa or other non-immigrant visa. Another option is applying for an immigrant visa through a family member who's a green card holder or a US citizen. For spouses, parents, and children of US citizens, there's definitely the option of expediting this process. Another option is applying for humanitarian parole. Humanitarian parole is a temporary admission to the United States for humanitarian reasons or significant public benefit, and it's usually for people who are unable to get a tourist visa. You may have heard of formal parole programs for Ukrainians, for Venezuelans, for Afghans, but really anyone can apply for humanitarian parole. For Palestinians who are in the United States and want an option to stay here, there are a few. One is applying for a green card or adjustment of status through a US citizen or green card a family member. Usually this will be a US citizen's spouse. Another option is TPS. Now, there isn't a specific TPS program for Palestinians, but keep this in mind. When a country is designated for TPS, the designation includes all of its citizens and any stateless individuals who last resided there. This last part is important for Palestinians because there are so many stateless Palestinians, right? And for example, if you are a stateless Palestinian and you last resided in Syria, you would be eligible for TPS under the Syria TPS program. And this is important to keep in mind because this is true for all the countries that are designated under TPS. So if you last resided in El Salvador, Nicaragua, etc. And keep in mind, the Syria designation deadline is coming up soon in March. Another option is applying for asylum. To be eligible for asylum, you have to be in the United States and you have to show either that you have been persecuted in the past or you have a well-founded fear of persecution in the future based on a protected ground, such as nationality, ethnicity, political opinion, religion, etc. For individuals who are stateless, like many Palestinians, you will be applying for asylum from your country of last habitual residence. Usually that's the country that issued your travel document, but not always. For example, a Palestinian who has a temporary Jordanian passport and lived in Jordan would be applying for asylum from Jordan. It's important to keep in mind that statelessness and its consequences are considered in making a decision about your asylum claim. And when relevant, it's important to make the argument that there is a pattern and practice of persecutions against Palestinians in X country. And the reason for this is that if you are able to prove that there's a pattern and practice of persecution against Palestinians in this country, whatever that country is, then the applicant for asylum does not have to show that they personally will be singled out for persecution. It's a complicated area of law, but it's an option to consider. If you'd like to discuss your legal options or you're looking for legal representation, give us a call at the number below or visit our website to schedule a consultation.